Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Soul Recoding Masterclass. My name is Lindsay Hawkins. Thank you so much for being here this Friday morning, bright and early. You guys are really powerful beings. So, thank you so much for showing up for yourselves. And we're going to have an incredible, powerful class. It's going to be amazing. So, a great way to learn is going to see it visually, hear it, write it down. So, that's what we're going to do. So, make sure you have a pen and paper or your notes up on your computer. And you can also take screenshots if you're on your phone. All right, so welcome. We're going to have about 45 minutes of content here. So, stick with me. It's going to be an amazing call. I'm sure you can feel the flowing energy already. You're here for a reason. So, without further ado, I'm going to share my screen and the PowerPoint's going to come up and we're going to get started. Okay. So, excuse me. What we are going to cover today is three things. We're going to inspire you to not feel so alone, to start thinking at a higher level. And there's five core aspects to accelerating your life and business forward. And then the missing link that you've probably haven't heard of yet. And so, number three is doing it alone or doing it with a structured program, mentor, and environment, and what the differences about that are. So, basically, everything you need to know so that you can launch to the next level in your life, business, and income instead of having slow progress, procrastinating, and knowing you could be doing so much better than you currently are. And I'm sure you all here have been really working hard to elevate your life. And sometimes it's like no matter what you do, you can't just break through that ceiling to get to that next level. And I've experienced that myself, and I'm going to show you how to get through that. So, something different can happen for you here, and that's why you probably read a lot of books and you've watched a lot of YouTube videos. You've gotten all the certifications, you've gotten healings. You understand that you have more potential than what's coming to the surface here and now. And that's why you're here. You can feel that essence. You have an inner knowing that something different can happen. So, with some small improvements, especially, we can do that. And I'm here to tell you that it can happen way faster than you think. You can get way more than you think. Now, it's a challenge, and I've been there. I'm going to share a little about my story before we begin. Before I became a coach with Scott, things weren't really happening for me. I'd finished my shamanic apprenticeship and I was still working full time in my corporate job in medicine. And I started watching some different thought leaders such as Joe Dispenza, Alan Watts, Neville Goddard, and some of their teachings. And I stumbled upon Scott Haug, my current mentor. His exercises were so practical and easy for me to add into my busy life. I started doing his manifestation accelerator course, and that just changed my life. And when the opportunity to be mentored by him opened up, of course, I took it. I had so much anxiety and nervous system contractions inside I wasn't even aware of. Even with all the healing work I had done, all of the training, I felt alone after graduation. Being at that higher level of awareness can feel that way, I'm sure, for many, if not all of you on this call. I felt lethargic at times. Even though I was motivated, it was just like I just kind of felt defeated, really. So, why I'm expressing this to you is because I'm sure you felt that way before too. Either now or you've been in that scenario and you know you've been born for something huge and you just don't know how to express it all the way. You're trying and you're heading in the right direction, but there are some doubts, sometimes anxiety, as you've dealt with some uncertainty. And how do I do this? You read the books, you watch the videos, you're doing the courses, but you need something more. Um, so here on the bottom right hand, you'll see a picture, and on the left is my mentor Scott, and on the right is Bob Proctor. And Bob Proctor, you may know from he was on The Secret. He's a big manifestation leader up there with Esther Hicks, and unfortunately for us, he has since passed away, but he left quite a legacy behind. He really took this information and he embodied it deeply because it really means nothing if it's just sitting in your consciousness and you're not applying it. And so he put it all to practice. He integrated it in an incredible way, and he inspired so many others to do the same. He would even sometimes read the same book, and people would ask him months later, what book are you reading right now? And he would mention the same one, and they're like, what? You haven't finished that book yet? And he would say, no. He would take each page and really integrate that knowledge, and then he would, move on to the next page. But he would take his time getting that information internally to stick. And that's how you know that this stuff works, because he practiced and lived this way for the 60 plus years he was alive and integrating it. And my mentor, Scott, was fortunate enough to be in his top 1% inner circle when he was alive. And not a lot of people make it to that point. You have to be pretty um, at a high level of sales and just to get to that point, to be right there, mentored directly under Bob Proctor. So we get the benefit of not only Bob Proctor, but also Scott Howe, who took that information. He, modeled what Bob was doing, and he also just kind of created this his own course on manifesting that just took my life to another level. And it's just so practical and easy to apply that that's what makes it so great. My income tripled after about 6 months of the coursework, and just with like out me putting out more effort, kind of just an account I didn't even really pay attention to just kind of took off. So it's just amazing how shifting your own mindset can shift all the results in your life incredibly. So um, I see Charity is here. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Okay. So here we're talking about Bob Proctor and my mentor, Scott, and you can see their pictures here. Um, so really feel the faith and belief in the content we have today. My name is Lindsay Hawkins. Some of you may know me, some of you don't, but just really get into this content because it really is going to change your life. Here are just a handful of people that have done this program and gotten the results they were seeking. And you can see it's just wins after wins after wins of everyday people just like you and me who put in the time to shift their mindset, raise their consciousness, and their life just changed dramatically. Okay, so right before we get into the content, we're going to do a couple more stories. And really, it's to show you that you are absolutely not alone in this personal growth journey that you have been on to become the best version of yourself and accelerate to the next level. And I'm going to prove that to you because You're going to hear some quotes from clients in the program, and I'm guessing you'll probably resonate with quite a few of these because I sure do. Does this sound like you? Honestly, I was already doing well in my business. I had some success, but I knew that my potential was so much more. I wanted to break my mental limitations and grow to a new level of 10,000 per month. It's tough finding like-minded individuals. I already think substantially different than most people I interact with. It's like I'm at base camp, earning six figures a year, but trying to open my life and business to that next level. I've been studying the law of attraction and the laws of success for many years. I had results here and there, nothing consistent, and I'm ready to get to that next level. I have been developing my healing gifts for years, but no matter how much healing I do or how many certifications I get, something is missing. I'm growing exponentially, but looking for something um, greater. I am ready to serve, to live in abundance, purposeful, and I want more. So let's inspire you to think bigger, to think about 10 times your growth, awareness, income, emotional state, riches, and relationships. You know that other people are in the same scenario as you, and you maybe resonated with some of those words, and maybe you didn't. But I want to inspire you here and now because the big idea is you really can 10x everything in your life, undoubtedly. And it just takes the right system, the right mindset, and everything will change really just effortlessly, which is the best part. um, so, the awareness of when you have a deeper awareness of this world, what's going on in it, your own emotional state, feeling happiness and gratitude in your life, you know how good that feels when things are just working and flowing and everything's so easy. It just feels incredible. And it is possible no matter what's going on. And, we can get you there because I've been to some of the darkest times in my life. And with this work, it just put it all into a deeper perspective of why I went through what I went through. I healed all, the heavy feelings stuck from those experiences. And with that healing, I started to just naturally become more magnetic to everything, to the life I wanted to create. And it just takes that inner shift to really see your outer world change. So, a few more client words here. Bang, doubled my monthly income just like that. Now I'm at a new level, hitting mid five figures income per month, and if I might add, easier and with more flow than I ever imagined. Doubled my revenue in my business just this month alone, and it was pretty easy. So grateful for your coaching and how this program is set up to do practical application of these principles. Each day keeps getting better and better. And within this program, I am surrounded by amazing individuals living their dreams. I have ease, confidence, and have had a complete life transformation. I feel so excited for life and supported. Thank you so much. This is incredible. So, if you are a spiritual entrepreneur or just a person who is deeply in tuned with the universe and is looking for more, and to accelerate their life forward immediately with more ease and flow, then you are definitely in the right place. So let's get started first with an immediate shift in your thinking and awareness, a way to soar to that next level with remarkable speed by working with a new model. Have you been trying to get more out of life, to enjoy the things that you love, to make a difference, take greater care of your family, and you just try and try, but you spin your wheels and you get the same results over and over with maybe a little small improvement here and there. Well, I'm here to tell you that you can get way more way faster. So this is where you're going to want to start taking some notes. You can also take a screenshot here too. And before we get into this content, I know you've probably listened to other speakers talk about goal setting. You may have read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And the first chapter is the Burning Desire chapter. So it's not that you don't already have a goal set, but we're going to go much deeper into your goal to really pull out the emotion. And so, you want to detail exactly what it is about your goal that really um, sets you on fire, what lights you up like a Christmas tree, and just makes your soul feel so blissful. You really want to tap, that's what that emotion is, what you want to tap into, because it's, maybe you want to make money, of course, because you want to take care of yourself and your family, but money doesn't really set us on fire like purpose does and passion. So really dig deep and feel those emotions about what sets you on fire inside. And I want you to take the top three things that you want, the intangible ones and the tangible, and put them into one sentence. So, for example, I am so happy and grateful now that I help 25 people invest in my health product every week, which means I am earning 10,000 per week with total ease and flow. And I want you to adapt that sentence to fit you. So, like for me, I'm not selling a health product, so I offer a service of coaching. So mine would be, I am so happy and grateful now that I help 25 people a month in my coaching program, which means I'm earning $10,000 per month with total ease and flow. And that's just one example. So, twist the numbers with how you feel. You could go big and say something like $50,000 a month, but definitely don't feel like you're not worthy of that, because you totally are. But the trick is you want to make it believable for you, but a stretch. So if you are right now at like $5,000 per month, $50,000 per month may be hard for you to even feel is possible. And if it feels like that, then you want to just go down a little bit more to a range that maybe you feel a little more comfortable with, but maybe isn't almost unbelievable for you. You want yourself to believe it. Why do most people want riches and abundance? It's to feel what it's like to not be strained, stressed, worrying, to feel peace and ease. And so that's it's not the money, it's the feeling it gives you, it's the peace it brings you. It's if I don't know if you've ever listened to Bashar, but he defines abundance as having the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it. And that definition has really kind of changed my life, because it makes you look at abundance as it's not just money, it's not just finances, it's support, it's having friendship, it's having love, it's having friend health. There's all different ways that we have abundance in our life, and it's easy. I'm guilty of focusing on the financial side and being in a lack mindset, and instead of actually looking around and just seeing all the abundance that is already surrounding me at this moment. And that can be a bit of a challenge sometimes when you're stressed and you're worried about your finances. So it's definitely helps when you have a healthy mindset to, get you through those times of stress and challenge. So let's say everybody is here. We are at this orange dot, and we are looking to go to that next level, which is up in the top right corner, right where this beautiful blue star is. And that is our burning desire. So these lines are our levels of vibration or frequency. And right now we're here. We are trying to manifest from here. And when we do, we're making decisions from this level of awareness. And as you can see, it's down below. So at that lower frequency vibrating, there's a limited perspective that we have. And we make the best choices we can with that perspective, but we end up continuing on this pathway here, and we'll get a little bit better, and then we're back down to the same challenge again. And it could be something like you're looking to manifest a soulmate, and you just keep getting into these same relationships, whether it's totally different people, but really it's the same person. And that's how you know it's, something internal that we're in our subconscious attracting really without being even aware of it, that continues to keep us stuck in this pattern. And so, what we want to do is take a quantum leap from where we're at now to our goal, to our next level, without being stuck on this roller coaster down at the bottom, and to just elevate as fast as possible. And the good news is the universe also wants to work as fast as possible. So, when we are able to raise our vibration, our frequency now, regardless of our circumstances, so even if we are down here, we can do our quantum leap by raising that vibration now before we get the burning desire. We feel it before we see it in the physical. And so when we are at that higher level of vibration, we have a broader perspective of options, and we can make a decision or take divine action based on that higher level of awareness, where we're making higher level choices that are going to take us on this path to that burning desire. So that's how we can quantum leap really any result that we have in our life from where we're at now. To get there, we just have to shift to this higher vibration, which sounds so simple, but it can be quite challenging, especially with our ego mind, because our ego mind is going to want to pull us back down to this vibration. And it's pretty sly about it, to where if you're in it, it can be hard to recognize for yourself. And so having another set of eyes on this path is really helpful for those times, especially because it's easy to get sucked into the ego's trap and get pulled back down to your old self. And without you even realizing it, you're back down here and you're stuck back in this roller coaster. So it just takes some practice, and it is a practice. So we're not we're not perfect. We're not meant to be perfect. And we're undoing a lot of learning and old programming that no longer serves us from decades of our lives. So it's going to take a little bit of time to work through those things and the energy loops that we've gotten ourselves into, and be able to really exit out of them. But then it's like all of a sudden it takes off and it becomes so effortless. You're just mesmerized with the difference in your life. And it's subtle. It's subtle shifts internally that make the biggest changes, which is another problem for me trying to do it alone because I didn't appreciate the subtle shifts. I expected a big giant shift, not a small shift. So that can definitely it helps to have another person on the journey. And when you do, you start attracting new resources, people, money, and ideas, and you'll be inspired to take new actions. That's how you take the quantum leap. So the quantum leap really is as easy as just shifting your vibration, being at this conscious awareness, making decisions from that awareness, and keeping yourself in these positive energy loops where it just propels you forward to that next level. All right, so how are we going to change your vibration? Because that definitely is quite the challenge. So you probably heard the quote, you have to think, feel, and act as if your goal is already achieved, just like we were talking about. So what does that mean? So write down this sentence if you don't like this is the most important sentence to write down. Feeling is my conscious awareness of the vibration I am in. Feeling is the conscious awareness of the vibration I am in. So it's really going to start to make sense to you why you're at where you're at in your business and your finances and why your 2026 has gone the way it's gone. And now you know why you feel how you feel and you're consciously aware of where you're at. So how would you feel if you had that burning desire, that goal? And write down a few of those words. Like maybe it's ease, relaxed, peaceful, grateful. The law of attraction works by not what you think you become, it's by what you are emotionalizing that you become. So the emotion is what you are putting out to the universe. That's what the universe is going to read and give you more of what you're asking for. So if you in your mind you're thinking, I'm rich, I make $10,000 a month, but your subconscious, because of inner child uh, wounding, you feel unworthy of making $10,000 a month. Your conscious is going to be wanting your body to vibrate at that higher frequency, but your subconscious, which is the dominant, it's like 9 times as dominant as your conscious awareness, it's going to vibrate at the unworthiness vibration. And with that's how you're like, no matter what you do, you keep getting the same results because your subconscious is telling the universe, I'm unworthy. I'm unworthy of that. Don't give it to me. Give me more lack. Give me more lack. Give me more unworthiness. And you're just stuck in that perpetual cycle where no matter what you do, you're getting the same result. So it's all about rewriting that programming in your subconscious, doing the healing work so that you can release those old vibrations. Excuse me one second. Holding you back. And that way you can attract the life that is meant for you, that you are worthy of. So back to this slide, and you can see here we've got these higher levels of emotions, ease, relief, fun, deep gratitude. When you're vibrating at that frequency, you're telling the universe, I'm at ease. I want more ease. And so the universe is like, sure, here you go. When you're down here at envy, frustration, problem, bored, anger, you're like, I am so frustrated. And the universe is like, okay, here's more situations of frustration. That's how we keep getting trapped on this cycle of being stuck down here instead of finally getting to that goal that we've been working towards for so long. That's how it's a catch 22. Because, you know, when you do all this work and you are opening your conscious awareness to new wisdom, it's, you'll feel that way for maybe that little bit of time while you're learning the information. But then we go back to our lives and our challenges and our problems, and we're dealing with those as the same person, our old self, our old identity, instead of hitting them step by stepping into the new identity, the healed identity that can make these higher level choices that maybe you wouldn't make down here when you are thinking from your lower awareness of, the same, well, I tried this in the past, so I'm going to try this next action, but it's just getting you just a little bit better every time. So you have to feel these emotions, the freedom, the peace, the ease, the calm, the bliss, to really be in the vibration of your desire. It's not easy, but it's necessary. It's the universe's paradox. And it's how it works. So when we can master how the universe works, we can bend it to work in our favor instead of feeling like we are controlled by the situations down here. We can be creating the life of our dreams and not being held back from these challenges. It is the most challenging thing a human can do, which is to change their consciousness before the reality changes. Because, you feel like it's not working. And so it's hard to keep going on that path if you're not seeing the results in your life. But, when you have a partner helping you along the way, you can see the subtle changes, and then, then your reality is going to shift. But it's when you appreciate the subtle changes, when you focus on your internal world, it's that's where the biggest momentum that you're going to get. So to get the results we seek, we must change our mind. So what is our mind? So we have our little person here, and we have our conscious mind, we have our subconscious mind. Excuse me, I'm having a little technical difficulty here. Fix. Okay. All right, so we have our conscious mind here, our subconscious mind, and our body is the instrument, or almost like a tuning fork, that is going to send out those vibrations out into the universe. And then we see the physical manifestation in our reality. So we are, our conscious mind is only something like 10%, I think, of compared to the subconscious mind is operating at like 90%, or maybe even something like 99%. And that's why it doesn't matter how many books you read, how much knowledge you've gotten, it has to be integrated into the subconscious mind. And Charity just said the birds are confirming what you're saying. Totally. That is so funny, um, that they are just, it's like right over my head too. Just so good. Good catch on that. Thank you, Charity. So, when you really can get your body to vibrate at the awareness or the vibration that you desire, then your reality has no choice but to shift your results. And that's where you'll have like random checks come in the mail for no reason, just because you are attracting support. You're attracting healthy finances because you're in a healthy state of mind. Your subconscious is operating in a healthy state of mind, and it's not operating from those childhood wounds that are trying to hold you back. And those aren't a bad thing. It's easy to look at them as like, oh, those are so undesirable. But the truth is, it's just outdated programming, and it saved your life as a child. If it was dealing with a parent that maybe was unhealed emotionally and had some behaviors, or it could just be different scenarios where you felt left out, and it was so heavy for a little child that you didn't have many, you weren't aware of how to handle a situation like that. And sometimes, we were felt these heavy feelings and we didn't know what to do about them. We were little. And so we keep them inside and we keep them buried down, and they come up in our adulthood to protect us. Really, it's to, shield us from the pain that we experienced in our past. But that was from our little child's mind. And since then, we've had so much life experience, so much awareness, so much knowledge that now we know there's a different way. But it's funny that we, are sometimes our little child self is, going to battle for us, and we're not even aware that it's doing that for us. And now that you're aware of it, if you're out in public, you can kind of see sometimes the little child come version of people come out. Sometimes it's a teenager that comes out, and you can see them, see it come out. And with awareness, you have a lot more compassion for that person, because you see that it's just that little person internally that was hurt one time, and they're just trying to protect their person now the best way they know how, in their subconscious programmed way, to keep them safe. So it's about getting a little bit, feeling a little bit uncomfortable, where we're going to make the changes and get the results that we're looking for. So when we can vibrate at that uh, more desirable vibration naturally, we can start to see the results in our life and our business just change dramatically. And it does take a little bit of time, but with the work that you put in, it is so rewarding. It pays off so incredibly fast that it's subtle, but it adds up very quickly. And next thing you know, you're there, and it just feels amazing. So that's where the difference between knowing something and doing something. We can learn it, we can know it, but it only matters if we're doing it. And then that's the integration. That's where, when we're on autopilot and we're going about life's challenges and our subconscious is healed, we are still going to be aligned with our soul, aligned with our higher self, and making the decisions from that place, not from the hurt child, 5-year old, that was left out of playing with friends, and that heavy feeling is just trying to be a warning saying, look out, protect us. We don't want to hurt. We don't want to be in pain. But then we don't realize it, but we're just vibrating at that lower frequency. So we have to change our minds, and that we have to shift our inner programming. If we keep taking this even different actions without shifting our subconscious mind, nothing is really going to happen. Or if it does, the results are temporary. And one really uh, good example of that is my own life, where I definitely had an unworthiness wound. And over the years in my medical career, my position, my role in the operating room is in really high demand, and there's a shortage. So I spent 20 plus years in medicine, and over the years, I got more and more pay because it was just they need more and more, and it just would get busier and busier, and so pay has just been was incredible. It just keeps going up and up and up. But because of my unworthiness wound, I was always living paycheck to paycheck, which doesn't make any sense because I was getting significantly more money, but I was spending whatever I would get because I didn't feel comfortable having money. I was the most financially successful in my family. That felt uncomfortable. I felt kind of guilty that I was doing better than my own parents, than my sister. So that can be a challenge in and of itself. Is you feel kind of a shame or a guilt, and it's also you want to fit in, and people can be jealous of you. So there's so many different things that can go on that can be wrapped up in that one core wound. And then next thing you have no money again, and you live paycheck to paycheck, and you're trying to get by, and you have stress. And it's just like, why on earth would I have that stress if you do the math, I shouldn't. I wasn't, I had more income coming in, and it was pretty steady, but it was just like I would just get rid of the money somehow. It would be, I would manifest situations where problems, I'd have to spend money, and then I'd kind of spend a lot of money, and then the problems would come up, and I wouldn't have any money to fix the problem. So then I'd have to make decisions from a place where I was more in a bind, and it was just keeping me trapped on this loop of living paycheck to paycheck. And if I really have just been so impressed with the subtle work that I've done that has made such a big difference in my finances. And it's a big part of that is just knowing how the law of vibration and the law of attraction work. And with the programming I had, how to bring awareness to those loops that I was in, how to heal whatever was holding me stuck in those loops. And so that's how you can shift your emotional impact. And it's going to take constant space repetition because, I'm sure you may have been to a healing or a sound bath or a meditation, and you feel really good. And then you get home and a bill comes in, and your nervous system tightens, and you're stressed because you're like, oh gosh, I wasn't expecting that. Or, life just will come at you, a problem comes at you, and you're just like, oh, it brings you back down. So when you can operate from that higher level of awareness, you can have those problems happen, and you're resilient no matter what's going on in your external world. Your internal world is at peace. But the way that you have to get there is getting uncomfortable. And I don't know about you, but I don't like being uncomfortable, and it's going to be hard for me to push myself to be uncomfortable by myself, because I went through my 2-year shamanic apprenticeship, and I got really, really great results. I did a lot of healing work. It really was life changing, but it was just I I couldn't push myself to go as deep as I needed to really get to those core wounds like I have been able to with my mentor Scott. So if someone's not getting the exact results they seek and they keep doing the same or similar actions every week, expecting something to change, we would call that person insane. And I have definitely been one of those insane people where I think if I just do it this different way, I'm going to get the results I'm looking for, and then it doesn't happen. So those people aren't stuck. They're stuck in the same energy patterns producing their current results. So you feel stuck, but really it's just your mindset is stuck. It's just your thoughts that are stuck. When you shift that energy by doing a new uncomfortable action, something maybe stretching yourself, doing something you've never done before, maybe even facing something you fear, you are going to be amazed at the positive upswing that will take you in your life, even though that fear is going to tell you you're going to fail, you're going to lose money, you're going to lose this or that, or whatever the fear is telling you. It's when you can push yourself to get over that and do it anyway, you are just like, you just start seeing a positive upswing, but it can be just so hard to do alone. So that's why structure, coaching, and environment are so important. So, number one is having a step by step process to apply and shift your subconscious mind, that practical application from someone who has done it. You can try to do it alone, but it's going to be a lot of trial and error, and that is going to be kind of detour you on your path because it sure was detouring me. I was trying to do all of it alone, and it's just really hard to get yourself through the uncomfortable part, over the fear, and by yourself. But learning from somebody who's actually done it and gotten to the place that they have been, where they can reprogram that subconscious mind, just learn how they did it and follow in their footsteps. That's the quickest shortcut to get to where you want to go. Number two is going to be live coaching and mentoring multiple times per week to get the guidance needed to shift and stay in the higher levels of achievement. So it's, just like I was saying, you go to a healing and you feel really good, and then life comes back in and can get you. And so that is why it is so amazing, having a coach that is there for you throughout the week, throughout the challenges as they come up every day, all the triggers, that you'll start to become aware of, and you can work through with the help of an outside perspective that doesn't have that emotional attachment and can help you see from your higher level of awareness instead of from that old your old self that really is going to try to trick you back into being comfortable again. And number three is being around like-minded individuals in a highly energized environment. A lot of people aren't really doing this work, and they surround us every day, and they are entitled to heal or not heal, but they their mindset can be kind of infectious, especially when you're outnumbered. So when you have people that are there for you, oh, okay, no problem, Charity. I'll go back to screen number 4. That way you can get that screenshot. Okay. So when you can, have a environment and a community that you can go to that understands what you're going through as you're navigating life with a higher level of awareness around others that don't have that higher level of awareness, it's really helpful to keep you vibrating at that level. And your family especially, they know you as your old self. And, you know, with a little bit of grace, we can have for them for being comfortable with us and our old self, we we do have to understand that it could be a little bit hard on them to accept your new self because they are wanting comfort and they want to be around the person that they already know, the old version of you. So having support through that transition is very powerful to help you stay in that mindset no matter what. These are all people that have been there just along with you. They have overcome those mountains that they wanted to get to where they want to be and had really good success. And, it's possible. If I could do it, anybody can do it. I'm telling you, if I can do it, anybody can. These are some more wins, some more really incredible things people got. Uh, Upgrades on their airline tickets, $22 a month incomes, um, just money coming out of the blue. Just all kinds of stuff can happen when you're living in that higher frequency because you're telling the universe, I want support. And the universe is like, you got it. Here you go. So basically, you have two options at this point. Go at it alone. You can keep watching the videos and they are helpful. Read 50 plus books a year, go to live seminars, try to stay positive in sometimes challenging environments, and spending your lifetime trying. Or you can stand on the shoulders of giants before you who have already figured out, learn from some of the best in the world, get some help, guidance, and structure, and take a quantum leap in the shortest amount of time that's just going to catapult you into your incredible life that you are totally worthy of living. Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich said, it pays to know how to purchase knowledge. Knowledge is only potential power. It becomes power when it is organized into definite plans of action and directed at a definite end. So basically, it is powerful, all of the knowledge that you can be surrounded by. But it's when you can kind of focus and bring all that knowledge in and integrate it, that's where you tap into that power. When it's organized, when you have a plan of action, when you're not, pulled in every direction and you don't know which way to go because you're on a path you've never been on and you don't have any guidance or support, you might as well have a guide who can get you there in the quickest amount of time. And the best part about that is it's a repeatable process that you can do again and again to get anything you want in life with certainty. Right now, your challenge could be finances, or it could be relationships, or it could be your career, or, whatever. And that can shift as we evolve and we go through different phases of our lives. And so when you know how to handle anything because you have done the internal work, you've healed your mindset, and you have stepped into your soul power, your higher self, you are aligned with your higher self, you are walking the path that you chose to come to this earth and walk instead of being pulled in each direction. And those were great. You can look back and see all of the learning experiences that you've had, I'm sure, from those detours and how much that helped. But then when you can actually master the laws of the universe and heal yourself and be aligned with your soul, you're just unstoppable at that point, no matter what you've got going on. It because the life's challenges. This is one lesson I had to learn the hard way. I expected when I got to like this soul aligned part, I would have no challenges in my life anymore. Everything would be easy. Um, it would just be like nirvana. And I don't know how I would have done that with by myself because I didn't have the awareness to see that I'm still going to have those life challenges. It's not going to change, but how I respond to those challenges changes. The meaning I attach to those challenges changes. So, just because my appliance breaks, it doesn't mean I'm not worthy of money. It just means the appliance was made poorly, or whatever, or it was, its life cycle ended. It just is what it means nothing. It doesn't mean that I'm not worthy of money, but my old self would think, I'm a victim. Nothing can go my way. I'm not lucky. I would just have all these negative thoughts going on, and I wasn't even aware of that. Sometimes, there's like this little nasty voice inside of you that talks worse to you than anybody in your life does, and you don't even know it's back there. And then next, no wonder you think you're unworthy and are this or that or your old self, because there's just like can sometimes be that negative voice in the back of your head, and it's trying to keep you safe, but it's kind of sabotaging your goals. So the whole point of us being here on earth is to evolve and grow, and we definitely want to do that. So when we can I hear that voice sometimes now, but now I can be like, you know, that's just that voice. Go, sit over there, and I don't pay any attention to it. It's not dictating my life, and it's not telling me that this circumstance is making me a victim, because I'm not gonna take that anymore. So if this sounds like you and you want to open your life and business to the next level with more ease and flow, you want to recode your soul, you want to be aligned with yourself fully and stepped into your power, I have set some time in my schedule to set up a call. So I would love to offer you a free 35-minute strategy session. And on that session, we'll map out where you're at, where you're going to go, and then we're going to form a strategy together to help you get things flowing with certainty and not just hoping they're going to change. And then on the second half of the call, I'll provide details of the coaching program, and we'll see if we're a good fit together or not. It's even if we're not, it's going to be a great call no matter what. You're going to walk away with so much awareness. It's going to be probably the most valuable time you spend this year to sit down and really look at where you're at, where you want to go, how to get there. And if you want to get a little extra support to help you get there in the quickest way and the easiest way possible, instead of doing it alone. So this is going to be for business owners, coaches, consultants, online business entrepreneurs, spiritual entrepreneurs, realtors, and experts who are currently in business serving people in some sort of way. It's also for people who just have some success going on, but they're still looking to climb to that next level, or people who fall in love with helping people and feel like they have a unique purpose and want to live in that purpose, who want to take their pain and turn it into passion. People who are willing to invest in themselves and get their own skin in the game financially. Those that realize they can't do it on their own. So, doing it with others, it's going to just help you so much on that journey, having a helping hand, having some guidance, having another perspective to help you get on track, stay on track to your higher self, to your soul, be in alignment with your soul, and be able to be totally unstoppable. Working with us is not cheap, but you are not cheap, and you're not worth cheap fixes. It's about being financially invested, emotionally invested to get your goal and to motivate you to get to your goal in a fraction of the time. It's it's a worthy goal. It's going to be, the call will be just, no matter what happens, if we work together or not, the call is going to be incredibly helpful for you. That I can only work with so many people in a week because it's just me. But make sure you book this call as soon as possible. I'm going to put the link in the chat box. You can copy that. You can use the QR code here. You can screenshot it and copy it off of the slide. So you have nothing to lose. It's a free call. There's no obligation, no pushy sales. It's just all about alignment. What's best for you, what's best for your soul. And you can see here that there are so many people out there just like you who have wanted more in their life, know that they're worth more, know that they're not living the life to their fullest or seeing the results that match the energy where they're at. And when they started doing the healing inside and started learning the laws of the universe, those two together are just an incredible combo because you're going to start being a magnet for money, for good things, good opportunities, meeting people that are going to help you. You just become a natural magnet for it. And then with the healing, you're going to keep it. You're not going to do your old programming like I was doing of just like spending my money and living paycheck to paycheck. Now I have a healthy checking account where if any of you know, life situations come up, I tap into it and I'm taken care of. I'm not living paycheck to paycheck. I'm not stressed to the max. I'm living in more peace. My connection at home is deeper, and honestly, that's the most priceless part. Is my children are, living happier. I'm a better parent to them. I'm a better partner to my husband. We're having the closest we've been in our marriage since we've been married. And it's just changed our lives. So you have it's no obligation on the call. The call is free. It's going to give you awareness no matter what happens. So book the call. You came here because your soul knows that you are meant for more, and you are worthy of it. You're worthy of abundance. You're worthy of prosperity. You're worthy of good health. You're worthy of good relationships. You are worthy of living a life of purpose and service and not working because working isn't fun, but being in service to others, to yourself, to your family, to the world, that's fun. That's satisfying. It soothes your soul. It lights your heart on fire. And that feeling is bliss. So I'm going to leave you with this last quote from one of the clients in our program. Magnificent manifestations are happening. I am just fascinated by it. I thank you for your excellent coaching. Thank you all so very much for showing up today for yourselves, for this call, to learn this information. You are walking away with some higher awareness that is taking you to your next level. Whether or not you book a call with me, this call today, this class today, will be helping you take next steps on your goal, have more clarity, and really look at this information and integrate it into your life because it's going to make your life the dream life that you really have been desiring and that you really are worthy of. So thank you all. Thank you all for showing up. I really appreciate you being here. I really hope you have a great Friday and the rest of your weekend, and take care.